Morning, guys. It's Chris Lake here. I'm just waking up and I got something on my mind. Today, July 13th, Detroit opened its schools for in person learning. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos decided that it was necessary to start, and in the midst of spiking across the country, they started to open schools in Detroit. And when I first read that, I was scratching my head wondering why? Why Detroit? Of all places, why not Vermont, where we're seeing, improving numbers for the last couple of weeks? Why not Montana, where they have less than 100 deaths since this whole thing started? Why not fill in the blanks, right? I do my research and I Google poorest cities in the United States, and Detroit is the number one on that Google search for poorest cities in the United States. And I'm going to ask you this: when in the history of ever have we given an area that's considered poor the best of anything? When have we treated them better than the rest of the country? If your answer is never, you're right. And that should be of concern. The Secretary of Education, a person whose highest level of education is a bachelor's in business economics, who's never been a teacher, who has no education in education, is telling teachers and students that it's fine to go to school, that only a small amount will be affected. And that's such a horrible gamble. Whatever side of the political spectrum you fall on, we can't gamble with kids' lives and kids' health. When people make the argument, well, what about the depression and social isolation? Death is worse. When people make the argument that, well, if they're at home, then they're going to suffer from sexual abuse and physical abuse, then we need to address that. The answer isn't throwing them in schools. That's a bigger issue that also needs to be addressed. When they say, oh, but kids aren't going to get the nutrition, we need to address that as well. The answer isn't simply throw them in school so they can get nutrition. Why don't people have enough to provide for their kids? Maybe we need more stimulus checks. Maybe we need other forms of action. But to throw kids into harm's way for the sake of the economy so that parents can get back to work, so that kids don't have to worry about being abused, that's not the answer. That's not the answer when we see spikes across the country. And for us to play dumb is not all right. Not all right. Again, I'm just waking up. I know there's some people out in Detroit right now who are actually protesting and holding up the buses. Good for you. Thank you for protecting kids. I'm a teacher. Our first job is to keep them safe. Putting kids in school right now is not smart. It's not smart. It's not smart to gamble with kids' lives. It's not smart to debate whether it'll be okay or not when you know in the back of your head some kids might die. That's not smart. That's not okay. It's not clever. It's not cute. We can play dumb all day long. We can play partisan. It's not about partisan. It's about kids. I'm just waking up. I'm just recording this. Because I got to put my thoughts out there, man. If we as a country can't agree on the value of kids' lives, regardless of what economic caste they live in, then we have a lot of self-reflecting to do. You don't gamble with kids' lives. These kids should not be going to school. We can talk about what's going to happen in the fall. When fall comes, it's 2 months away, a month and a half away. But right now is not the time to use kids as guinea pigs. Spread this to those who live in Detroit, so if they're on the fence about whether to send their kids to school, they realize it's really not safe. Thanks for hearing me out. I'm gonna go make breakfast for me and wifey. I hope you guys have a good day, and take care of your kids, man. Protect your kids. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, take care of your kids. I'm out.